Have you ever wondered, after a good 7 hours night's sleep, you've been exercising well, eating well, staying hydrated, and you still feel knackered? Hello Ramblers of the world, I'm Chris, the Mindset Wingman, and thank you for joining me on another Mindful Ramble. We talk all things mindset reset and how it aligns to our journey through life. And as I say, every journey has a story. Let's go! Now, I am a huge advocate of getting good sleep, working on your sleep pattern, staying hydrated, a good diet, getting plenty of exercise. And it's very important to have these things in place to boost and protect your energy levels. However, that's not the only reason that we can feel tired in life. There's also that secretive one that people don't notice quite so readily, and that is mental fatigue. If you think during a day we can have up to 60,000 thoughts, approximately, that's been scientifically proven, and then we can be making nearly 35,000 decisions a day. That's a lot to process up here, and it takes energy, and it is going to deplete our energy reserves. And then moving on to other things, like compared to 50 years ago, we've got so much knowledge at hand now, so many social media platforms that we can use. We've got so much information out there that we're processing on a daily basis. And that's also, I'm also talking about, scrolling as well. When you think, oh, I'm just going to take 15-20 minutes out to chill out, relax and do some scrolling. But when you're doing that scrolling, you're using energy. Every post you read takes up energy. Every video you watch needs to be processed. That's all using that energy that you have. Now, when it comes to scrolling, two things. There will be things that you are watching that are very beneficial to you. They are helping you move forward in life. In fact, I've heard of a great channel called the Mindful Rambler. Subscribe to it. I've heard it's really good, really beneficial. However, there will be stuff out there that the way they make the videos or the content is very clever. It pulls on your heartstrings, and it's not really benefiting you at all, but it is making you watch. And that's where you have to differentiate between the two. So when you're scrolling, be careful that the stuff that you're watching is helpful, is benefiting you, moving you to where you want to get to, compared to the kind of doom scrolling stuff that is very easy to get lost in. They trap you with their clever way of making the content in the videos, and that's the kind of stuff that you want to try and reduce and not spend so much time watching. And then there's work, processing everything you've got to do for your job and your career, everything else you do in life, your responsibilities in life. And then there's dealing with other people. So there will be people out there who are very positive, supportive, and make you smile and boost your energy. But then there's people out there who are constantly negative, constantly complaining. And when you're around them, all that does is zap your energy. But as we go through life, busy, it's not something that is very obvious to notice when you're using up so much mental energy and you're just knackered inside. So how do we go about addressing that? Well, let's start off with the external factors and other people I was just talking about. So those people who are positive, supportive and actually give you energy, keep those ones close. But those people who are constantly negative, constantly complaining, and just making you feel down and just wasting your energy, these are the ones that you need to keep at an arm's length. I know it's not always possible to remove them. If you can, fantastic. If you don't have to deal with it anymore, that would be problem solved. But I know that's not easy. Family and responsibilities. But the best you can do is just try and keep them at arm's length and only deal with them when you have to deal with them. All other times, just try and stay clear from them. As I say, all they're going to do is waste your valuable energy. Now another one is when it comes to work, try and find the best work pattern for you. So for me, when I'm working, I like to do 75 minutes of work and then 15 minutes break, and that's what I'll do consistently during the day. Now, when I say take 15 minutes off, I don't mean scrolling or watching TV or other things that will again take up your mental energy. I'm talking about sitting in a dark room or lying in a dark room, just doing some deep breathing exercises, no inputs, or going out for a lovely walk in the countryside, again with no inputs, just you and the fresh air. And just really letting your mind take a moment and take a rest from everything that you've been doing that day. And one of the big ones, and that is to reduce the amount of decisions that you're making during a day. So you'll make small decisions, you'll make big decisions. The thing is, they all count and they all add up when it comes to your energy that you're using. So it's trying to find those smaller decisions that don't really need to be made and get them and find a way of removing them from your life. So it's things like every day you're thinking about, what am I going to eat that evening? A decision you have to make. So instead do some meal prep at the start of the week, get your whole week meals sorted. So there's a decision that you can now remove. And then it comes to things like exercise, going to the gym, or whatever is your go-to exercise. And again, it's blocking out time in your diary for when you're actually going to do it. So again, you don't have to think about that morning when you wake up, when am I going to get exercise? You've got to block out your diary, you know when you're going to do it, stick to it. Another decision, gone. What this does, it just leaves space for those bigger, material, more important decisions that you have to make every day. The ones where you need to have all your energy in the right place so you can make the right decision. So when it comes to all these things that have been draining you, a great technique is to list all the things that are draining you and then list all the things that are giving you energy, and then focus on the latter and do your best to remove all those things that do drain your energy from your life. I know it's not possible to get rid of them at all, but try and reduce them or mitigate them in some sort of way and focus on those things that do give you energy. Because the thing is, it's so important in life, especially with how busy our lives are nowadays. If you want to have a positive mindset, live the happiest, most fulfilling life you can, you've got to protect your energy. Like your life depends on it, because really, it does. So I'm going to leave you there now. As you can see, I'm still wearing my natty glasses. A couple more days to go and I'm past the danger period, so I'm looking forward to that, even though I do like doing my impression of Bono. And I will see you all again on the next video, and as always, if you could subscribe, like, share and comment, I'd be incredibly grateful, as it really does help me build this channel bigger and better for you and for me as well. And I'll see you all again on our next Mindful Ramble together. Onwards and upwards.